So I'm going to be making a salmon cobbler, and for that I have a bag of mushrooms, a rutabaga, some carrots, some potatoes. I think I'll be using probably about 4 cans of salmon. I might be using more. I have 2 cans of peas. I have 3 boxes of milk, 2 servings of yogurt, some salmon seasoning. Could use Old Bay seasoning. In fact, I would have used Old Bay seasoning if I had some. I have some baking mix. So this is like bisquick. I have some butter, and I have some olive oil. So the first thing we want to do is start chopping up our vegetables. I'm going to start with the rutabaga and the carrots. And I'm cutting off all the ends of the rutabaga, the peel, because that's not very tasty. I'm going to cut the rutabaga into large cubes. So, cutting them into thick, large cubes, like that. And I'm just going to leave the skin on the carrots, and I'm going to cut them into slices. Okay, now I have the potatoes left to cut, and these I'm going to cut into cubes also. I like to leave the skin on with the potatoes also. If you'd rather have them peeled, you can, but there are a lot of nutrients in the skin of both potatoes and carrots, so I like to leave them on. And I'm using red potatoes because I prefer the flavor of red potatoes for baking. Oh, and we will need some onions too. I'm going to use 3 small red onions, but you could just use 1 large onion, and it doesn't really matter, the onion. And I think I'll only use that many potatoes. I don't think I'll use all of the potatoes. Now I'm going to cut up the onions, and then I'll cut up the mushrooms. So I'm basically going to cut these into quarters. I'm going to cut them into large chunks. Okay, now it's time to cut up the mushrooms. And I'm just going to cut these into slices. So that looks like about a cup of mushrooms there. Now it's time to get started on cooking all the vegetables. So I'm going to take about 2 tablespoons of butter, maybe a little more, and about 3 tablespoons of olive oil, and I'm going to get those melted over medium, let's do medium-high heat. It's pretty chilly in the house. And you want a big pan like this that you can pop into the oven, that doesn't have any like plastic or anything like that on here, that you can easily pop into the oven, because we're going to make the filling, and then we're going to put the cobbler biscuits on top, and then we're going to pop it in the oven to bake. And I already have my oven preheated to 350. I went ahead and preheated my oven because it's really cold today. It's freezing cold today. It's starting to warm up now that my house is getting heated by the oven and the heater. Okay, now that it's starting to bubble, I'm going to go ahead and add the onions. Get those all coated with butter and turn it down to medium. Okay, now that the onions are starting to get a little translucent, I'm going to add the potatoes, carrots, and rutabagas. Mix those up in there. And now I'm going to add some salmon seasoning. I'm going to add probably about 2 tablespoons of salmon seasoning. I might add more. Yeah, I think I'm going to add a little more. Probably about 4 tablespoons of salmon seasoning now. Ooh, that smells yummy. I'm going to turn this up to medium and let it cook for a little while. While the vegetables are cooking, I'm going to get started on making the cobbler crust. And for that I need about 2 tablespoons, maybe more like 3 tablespoons of butter. And I softened that in the microwave. Now I'm going to add 1 of the servings of yogurt. And you could always use sour cream instead of yogurt if you want it to be richer in flavor. I'm just going to add 1 box of milk, and then it's time for the baking mix. So I'm going to start out by adding 2/3 cup. Let's see how that does. I'm just going to add it 2/3 cup at a time until I build up a nice dough. And it looks like this is starting to form a nice dough now. So this would be 4½ cups of flour here, or biscuit mix. Now we're going back to these vegetables, which look great in here. Now these don't have to be done all the way because they will cook more when they're baking in the oven. But now it's time to add some mushrooms. And then I have some flour here. I'm going to just sprinkle, let's see, there's 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, about 4 tablespoons into there. And just mix it up. Now I'm going to add my salmon 1 can at a time. And it looks like 2 cans of salmon is plenty. I don't need any more than that. So now it's time to add the peas. Let's see how many cans of peas I need. Probably 1 can of peas is enough. And now I'm going to add the yogurt. And the other 2 cups of milk. And I'm going to turn this back up to medium-high so we can start thickening up that sauce. And I'm just going to give this a little taste to make sure it's got enough seasoning in it. I think it could use a little more seasoning. So I'm going to go ahead and add probably about 2 tablespoons more salmon seasoning and mix that in there. Now let's give it another taste, see how it tastes now. Perfect. Okay. Time to put our cobbler on. So we're just going to put 1 biscuit at a time. All around the edge, working our way in towards the middle. And now we're going to pop it in the oven and set the timer for 30 minutes and see how it is. It might take longer than that. Alright, it's been 30 minutes now. Time to take the cobbler out of the oven. Oh, it looks delicious. There we go. There's a delicious looking salmon cobbler. Let me get you up close to it. There is our salmon cobbler. Now I'm gonna serve me up a little bit of cobbler on this chilly winter day. Oh, that just looks so yummy, so delicious. Can't wait to dig in. Look at that salmon cobbler. I'm gonna go curl up in the blankets and eat some salmon cobbler.